Good morning, everyone. This is the Joe Madden Sports Show. I'm joined today by the one and only Bill Krackomberger of Krack Wins. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. We all know the myth and the legend that you are in this industry. We all hear the rumors. You move lines when you place bets, Bill.
Yeah, I don't really consider myself no legend though or anything like that. I'm just a advantage sports bettor, and I try to teach people proper ways to bet and strategy, money management, bankroll management, and just off my playbook of 30 years of gambling and being a losing gambler when I was a kid. Where you grow up, it means everything. And I grew up in the back east between New York and New Jersey, North Jersey, boardwalks, hustling my whole life and being a stone cold sucker, going to racetracks, losing money and losing money betting sports, not knowing any better. And so I try to teach them how I became who I am today. I pay tax on sports betting one every year. So every quarter I send a quarterly estimated payment. And because I know I'm going to be a winning player at the end of the year. And this year is no different. Football's been unbelievable again. And you're right. I do move lines when I bet. And when I send out games, I send games to my people. Literally, everyone knows. They see when I give something out compared to the closing line. 90% of the time, and they say they've never been involved in anything like this. They've never seen someone that gives games out. There's only two services I know: me and someone else that gives games out and actually moves. People give games out. The lines really don't move that much because, to be frank, there's not really many people that win. Even the ones that sell games, most of them put a black eye on our industry because of their techniques and the things they do and the words they use and guarantee lock of the week, lock of the month. That's not the way it is. So we have a 3, 4, 5% edge on every game at the end of the year. That on volume, it equals a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, we all know there's no such thing as a lock in this industry. Now, you classify yourself as a sports bettor, not as a handicapper. Can you explain what the difference is to you?
In the beginning, in the 90s, I did all my own work. I did my own power charts, my power rankings, literally had, and watching a live odds screen, literally had indicators in the market. I did my own stuff. As I grew, as my bankroll grew, I got to meet some of the sharpest people in the world, probably the sharpest guy in the world, to be honest with you. And really, underneath his wing, I realized how much money you can make with the best originators in the world. I found my own originators, and literally the guys that I work with now, I think are some of the best guys in the world. And now I just do a lot of the betting now. I did all the handicapping for years, like I said. And I, by the way, I won. I was successful. I won, made money every year. But why do all that work and research and 70, 80 hours a week behind computer screens, following the social media, following different weather patterns and doing the analytics and the back-tested data? Why do all that stuff if I don't have to? I don't have to do it no more. I find the sharpest guys in the world. They give me the info. I bet. I send it out to my guys. Everyone makes a lot of money. Everyone's happy.
I absolutely love it. So you grew up in the Bronx, Jewish Italian family. Yep. How did you get to where you're at? What were the steps that put you as a sports bettor?
Well, I used to come down on the weekends and work on the boardwalks on the Jersey Shore. Eventually, I moved there when I was in my early teens. And literally, everyone gambled. Everyone gambled. My mother's family was Italian. Everyone gambled on something. Her stepbrothers, everyone had action every night. Even that boardwalk I grew up on, I really, earned my roots there, sowed my roots there on that boardwalk. Worked there till I was 9, 10, 11 years old. I'm literally in my aunt and uncle's pizza stand, cutting pizzas every night, learning the ropes, customer service. I credit my aunt and uncle, who my aunt passed, and their son Anthony. I credit them to being who I am today because I got to be talkative, learning to deal with people, learning transactions, I got all that from working in the pizza business. Then I finally worked on the boardwalks and games of chance and games of skills. And at nighttime, what happened was the entire boardwalk had 200 people that worked on the boardwalk. Those games closed, and a portion of them would come over to the pizza stand and the wheels of chance, and those games would become real gambling games. They wouldn't be, you couldn't win candy or toy or a statue or a stuffed animal. Now it was gambling on real money. And that's where I learned my thing. My cousin Anthony was he went to blackjack card counting school. He taught me that at a young age. I learned positive advantage gambling, but yet I still was a gambler. I still was a loser. I had to literally meet a partner that would change my life later in life. But I knew the ropes. I know if you're dealing a deck of cards, that's 4 aces. Well, if you're dealing head-to-head blackjack, there's 4 aces. Just keep track of 4 aces. You get 3 to 2 for blackjack. There's a lot of little indicators, little things. Kids didn't know, but I knew it. So I was always good playing head-to-head card games.
9, 10, 11, 12 years old down on the Broadwalk playing those card games. And then you moved on to the track. How did do you remember
going to the
that
track from a young age? My father took me when he was a kid. He didn't know any better.
Yeah.
You know, they were I love my dad to death, but he was a losing gambler like everyone else. He took me to the track, Monmouth Park, and I loved it so much. I started going to the track and blowing my money as a teenager and into my 20s, and literally met somebody that told me this is the way you make money with bookmakers and middling and scalping and building a bankroll. And then the internet came. This is way before the internet. Then the internet came along in 96, 97. And literally, I was on these gambling forums. I was writing articles for a couple of websites. I got some introductions to some of the sharpest people in the world, some of the sharpest sports betting syndicate groups. And, it took off from there. There you go. Bing, boom.
I love it. So fast forward to today, you're living out in Vegas. What is it like walking into those sports books? You move those lines. Are they trembling when you walk into that book?
Not trembling, but most of the sports books don't like. Let's face it, most of the sports books don't like me. I walk in and I'm going to bet something that it's real simple. Let's say I make $100,000 a year. Well, $100,000 a year, if I walk into 10 sports books, means theoretically, if you divide the 100 by 10, it's $10,000 a year I'm taking out of your sports book. Yeah. So they don't like me. They don't know how to deal with someone like me. Really, how you deal with anyone that's an advantage gambler. If they're a winning gambler, you move your line. You actually overmove it. Put your customer base on the other side of the line. This way, you're on my side, I'm on your side. If I'm a winning gambler, you say I'm a winner. But they don't like to do that. What they like to do, most of them, by the way, they like to just get all the suckers to come in, bet all the favorites, bet all the overs. And literally, they already incorporate that into the line. And they'll, a game that should be -6 is going to be -6.5 or -7. They want one-way action, and if you bet the other way consistently and win, you get thrown out. I've been thrown out of many sports books in this town. I'm not allowed to play at places like Treasure Island, the Coast Casinos, Stations Casinos. They use other reasons why you can't get thrown out. They use that they're hiding behind other reasons, but in the end, it's because I win. That's the bottom line. These new companies that have come to America now, a lot of them I'm not allowed to play on none of the apps. And there's only one reason. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Just using my brain. So there's not a lot of guys that can sell games that could say that you're using your brain. I tell you right now, I'm a terrible self-promoter, Joe. My Twitter page is very rarely used for any personal promotion of my site, Krack Wins. But I did it yesterday because we went 9-0 yesterday. And all my customers know. I can't put that on Twitter if that wasn't true. So I have a lot of customers from Twitter, and a lot of them came in that thread and said, "Wow, this is unbelievable." So again, last year we were at literally 60, almost 64%. That's impossible. I can't do that again. But this year I'm heading at a pace of 60%. So that's amazing for during football season. So I'm really happy. You got basketball starting up in a month. The first month of college basketball is a stone cold nuts. So, but it's right now college football, NFL props, NFL side. Yesterday I had a couple totals.
Yeah, what did you have yesterday? Going 9-0. Were you on some dogs?
Let's see. I had props. I had a couple. And by the way, I do Fox Sports Radio nationwide over 500 networks now on the weekends, and
fantastic.
I gave out a couple on there. So I think I was 4-0 on there. What did I give out to the Krack Wins guys though? Eagles first half was a giant play, -3.
Nice.
Eagles literally 24 points a game they're averaging in the first half, 23 points a game. And Arizona was averaging 4 points a game in the first half. Listen, it could have lost. They're up 14-0, came down to the end. They won 14-10. And in the end, see what happened there. The Eagles almost even lost the game. They won by 3, did not cover the full line. But if you bet it in the first half, like we come up with, you were a winner. So that's one of them. I had over first half on a couple games. I had over in the Jets game. Over that one over Miami Jets over in the first half of I don't even remember. It was
We
an
had
early
9
game
bets
though.
out, and then you talked
Yeah,
all
there
of
was
the
so many
games on
bets.
your show.
Yeah, props. I had over on a couple of. I'm an under guy, by the way, on props.
Okay.
You have to understand proposition bets. I'm going to bet probably 65% unders. But this season so far, I may be mixed here. I may be closer to like 55% unders because I've been sending out some overs in certain situations when there's a running back not starting and his backups in there. Sometimes they don't take into consideration. I don't want to give away the secret sauce in the formula, but a lot of times they don't take into consideration that this running back is going to take up the slack for the starter, and especially maybe a quarterback. I know I had Lamar Jackson over a couple of weeks ago because their number one running back's out. He's out, and all of a sudden, who's going to do the running? It's going to be Lamar. He's a
Exactly.
one-man wrecking machine. Easy winner on the over. So, but again, I don't like talking about what I did yesterday, what I did last week. I want to know what you did for the whole season.
Yeah.
I hate when people put up what they did lately. I want to know what they did for the whole season. I know one thing. Since I opened this site, Krack Wins, I'm up 300 units. 300 units.
300.
Who could say that? Not a lot of people. So they sell and they sell and they sell and they talk about what they've done lately if they had a lucky weekend or something. Not what I do. This goes back to many years. I've seen it on all over the internet. I don't do that. What have I done? Lifetime is what I want to know. So I know I'm thrown out of all these sports books for one reason, for winning, using my brain. I've been thrown out of over 3,000 bookmakers have thrown me out in the last 30 years. 3,000 guys have thrown me out, closed my accounts, and some not even paid me. The business I'm in.
I can absolutely believe that. So you have your website, crackwins.com. You also have an app. If people are looking for your bet, should they just head on over there?
Yeah, crackwins.com and the Krack Wins app. Go to my Twitter page at Bill Crackman. I put a lot of strategic things up there talking about the industry, talking about gambling, talking about literally. I try to help a lot of people too. I know I was a kid. I was a little kid. I've been gambling since I'm a little kid, 9 years old. I'm gambling. I don't want kids gambling. I don't even want no one to even get. By the way, if I had a choice, I'm probably the only guy in the world that sells picks. I wouldn't even want people to get into sports betting. I don't want learn from the street smarts, common sense, decision-making skills. Be smart. God forbid you have a college degree and that together. Forget about it. Stronger than morphine.
What's the best advice you can give out there to the average bettor that's looking to just put some money for fun into sports betting that doesn't want to end up losing their house? Because we know there is always that case of that person that just doesn't control themselves.
Yep. Like I said, I don't even recommend that. And here's what I say too. Let us do the work for you. Don't do your own reading. Just because you're watching things on TV. You listen to these guys that are on TV, the retired players, the retired coaches. These guys don't know anything. They couldn't win with tomorrow's newspaper. They just think that they're what they go by with a feel and a gut feel and what they see on different news programs. That's the reason why the sports books always get the money in the end. What's my recommendation to somebody? Have multiple outs. Have a couple different places to play. Make sure you put money. When you come to Vegas, people don't notice. Sometimes you come to Vegas, you don't have to live in Nevada to bet on these apps. You just have to be in Nevada. You have to be in Nevada for them to geolocate you. So what you do is open up a couple apps when you come in town, wherever you're staying, put money into that app, put money into the Square apps that threw me out. That you get extra half points here and there. Put money in stations. Put money in Will Hill. I'm allowed to play in Will Hill again after 2.5 years. Caesar's brand. You should put money into there. You'll find some slow moving lines at some of these places, and you'll get extra half points on some of the dogs sometimes. So it's key because half points mean everything. And so you can deposit in 2 or 3 apps. Have the money in there. When you leave, you go and take the money out. I know it's a little footwork. If you get one game though that you win instead of push, it's worth the legwork. It's worth it. So anyone that bets more than $50 a game, you should definitely have multiple outs and multiple apps and take advantage of those bonuses too. There's sign-up bonuses all over this country in the jurisdictions that have FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, Barstool. Even though a few of them throw me out, but it doesn't matter. For you guys that are betting, a couple hundred a game, they're going to let you play.
I love that you're wonderful and promote places that have kicked you out. So thanks for doing that, Bill. Now we know we can find you on Wisecracks, your podcast, as well as Countdown to Kickoff on Fox Sports Radio. Anywhere else people can find your shows?
No, listen, I do VSiN every week on Thursdays. I go in there to do a show with Gil Alexander if I'm in town. That's always been really good. Very, very. We have fun. We talk about the industry. We talk about gambling in general. It's an unscripted show.
Yeah.
I do that. I do the Wisecracks podcast on WSN.com, and I've had ridiculous guests on there. My God. Recently I had Tony, I do it with John Orlando, his dad, Tony Orlando came in. I did it with him a couple times. The guests we've had from Marcus Allen to Warren Moon to so many baseball players, the industry execs. I've had Derek Stevens on multiple times. I've had on, Jay Cornegay. I've had so many people. I know you had Jay on also. So many people from the industry talking about breaking down things and talking about the industry. I'm really, really blessed to do them all. And now Fox Sports Radio on Sunday mornings, 7 to 10 a.m. Vegas time, 10 to 1 Eastern. It's nationwide, over 500 networks on Sirius. Really blessed and really happy that, where I've come from, it's amazing now that sports is now fashionable. You used to have to hide in the closet and bet games, and, people say, oh, you're a gambler, you're a sucker, you're a loser, you're a degenerate. Now it's fashionable, almost too much. I can't go to a stadium, a Yankee Stadium. I see 3 different sports books out in the outfield. How are little kids seeing this stuff and not going home and saying, Daddy, what is this? I'm going to go start gambling. It's overblown. I think a lot of these, this advertisement is out of control for kids. You have to promote safe, responsible gambling, because I don't want kids to grow up thinking that, oh, I know what I'm doing here. I grew up with LeBron James. I could bet this. Or, people that grew up with Kobe and Shaq. We're going to have a big fallout, Joe. Not now. We're going to have a big fallout years from now. And it's not just going to be the degenerates. It's going to be lawyers, doctors, businessmen, Wall Street type, and these kids that grew up stealing from mommy and daddy to gamble. So hard to believe I could talk like that, right? That's the reason why a lot of people don't, a lot of the big companies, they don't like me, because I talk real stuff from my own playbook that I know has went on in my life. There's Bill Krackombergers all over this country that grew up, and I was a little degenerate. And thank God someone showed me the right way. But trust me, there's not people, the people out there, they can't control themselves. The biggest enemy is themselves, is that bankroll management, is that the biggest thing you could say in a casino or sports book, man, God, let me just get even and I'll go home. Yeah. It's the reason why the casinos and the sports books make all the money they do. So you advise people obviously not to chase their bets any day? Forget it. And listen, the night games, think about this. The Monday night, Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday night games, those 3 NFL games, they get 3 to 4 to 5 times the business than a game gets on a Sunday. Why is that? People are chasing Sunday night. People are chasing Monday night. And it's the only thing on TV. Got to bet it. It's on TV. You're not going to watch it without betting it. How many times I go, last night, I didn't have a bet on anything. Sunday night game, I had nothing. I released nothing. If they didn't like 9-0, that's on them. But I'm not giving a play out just to give a play out. It's not what I do. I give plays out because it puts food on my table, supports my family, helps my friends, and also helps all the Krack wins guys. That's all I could say. Absolutely. You guys make sure you head on over to crackwins.com to get all of Bill's plays. Bill, I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. It was an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, love to do it again. Have a great day, Bill. You guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another Joe Madden Sports Show. Thanks, Bill.